The first thing you need to know is how to aim your shot. Picking the right club is another key too. There are 6 basic shot types built into the game for you to use. Your current shot type is always displayed here. A full shot aims your club at its maximum distance. A choke shot aims you a little shorter than the club's maximum distance. A punch shot is a low shot used to get out of the trees or keep the ball under the wind. A pitch shot is useful when you get near the green. A flop shot is useful near the green when you need the ball to stop quickly. A chip shot is when you are right next to the green and have a lot of room to work with. Creating custom shots starts with knowing how to change your aim. You can further customize your shots by using shot shaping. There are 3 different ways to play the game. Each offers a unique swing mechanic and supporting settings. The arcade style uses a simple analog stick swing. Additional aids like zoom and an aiming arc make this an easy and fun way to play. There are 3 different ways to play the game. Each offers... Hello again, everyone. This is Rich Lerner here to walk you through some lessons. So many historic moments have played out before our eyes in major championships, and today 2 of the top players in the world are set to tee off. Rory McIlroy holding a 1-shot lead over Martin Kaymer. It's the final round of the U.S. Open Championship at Chambers Bay.
Going into the final round of any golf tournament with a chance to win, especially a major championship, it's a huge buzz. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the best feeling a golfer can have because you're in the mix and you're in with a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It's an incredible feeling. It's something that you may only get to experience a handful of times in your life. So, that atmosphere, you want to soak it in as much as you can and really enjoy it.
Rory McIlroy coming off a strong performance yesterday, now making his way to that first tee box and looking to add another major championship trophy to his already growing collection.
And Rich, there's no doubt both golfers will be nervous until they get that very first tee shot under their belt.
The first tee shot is probably the most difficult because you've been thinking about that shot since the night before. Once you get that first shot out of the way, you calm down, you're a little more settled, you're not quite as anxious or nervous, and you sort of get into the rhythm of the round. You want to get off to the best start possible, and obviously that starts with that first tee shot.
Well, there he is, Rory McIlroy, a past U.S. Open winner, set to tee off on what could be an historic day of golf, set against the beautiful Puget Sound. And he's underway. Frank, it looks like a good one.
Yeah, it looked like a free-flowing swing, that's for sure. It certainly betrayed the nervous feeling that we thought he might be feeling on the first tee. And a huge tee shot.
Well, you've been there, Frank. Nerves are good on the first tee, even for great players.
If you can control them.
Frank, tricky little shot from 145 for McIlroy.
You'd imagine with a little bit of nervous energy. Probably only a wedge, though, for Rory. Just something in between the flag and the bunkers on the right. Use the terrain of the green.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Looks to be a good one, Frank.
Oh, nestles inside 15 feet, so a birdie chance coming up for Rory.
Opportunity to put pressure on Keimer right out of the gate.
No, it's uphill, Rich. It should, if anything, move to the right. Just depends on the speed of this putt, whether it's left edge or outside.
Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Excellent start, Rory McIlroy. What a nice putt.
I think making putts is very important. It sets the tone for the day and it gives you some positive momentum early. You see the ball go into the hole and it gives you confidence. You face a downhill putt at a US Open with greens that are as tricky as that, it just makes it even more difficult. I feel like you always face important putts no matter when it is, but obviously they're that much more important when, you know, it's the final round of a major.
Now over to the second, and McIlroy with a challenging downhill putt. Frank, I know it's early, but if he drops this could really spark some momentum for the round.
But this putt will be very, very quick. You've got to be careful because the ball can quite easily take off once it gets past the hole.
He has this for birdie. Not that time, but not for lack of effort. Wouldn't call it a pressure-packed spot in this round, but you could sense that McIlroy knew with another birdie to start, he could have really applied some heat to Martin Keimer.
It's still a good start for McIlroy. Birdie par start.
After an impressive drive, Rory just 165 yards out, faced with this uphill approach shot.
It's going to play closer to about 175 yards, though, Rich, because of that uphill. So probably an extra club. But Rory, even though he grew up in Northern Ireland, where it's windy, is a naturally high ball hitter. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. So the second of the par four goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Bunker shot coming up now for Rory. How's this part of his game, Frank?
It's certainly improved over the last couple of years, and it really has to, because he plays such an aggressive style of play that you have to accept the miss, just like what we saw in that second shot. And it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
McIlroy now, fifth shot. Frankie has to be scratching his head as he reaches for...
There's some times when there might be a wait on a tee box, or you've played your shot and you're waiting on your playing partners to hit their shots, and you just look around and you realize where you are, because you don't really you don't appreciate it that much whenever you're playing, and that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about trying to win a golf tournament and not really taking in the beauty of your surroundings.
Well, this is one of the most spectacular spots on the course here at Chambers Bay, the 9th. They call it Olympus, and what magnificent views as Rory McIlroy gets set to tee off here on this par 3.
And there's a great view, too, of how exposed this golf course is. So if the wind is whipping, this hole can play very treacherous. Won't play its full yardage, considerably downhill. Club accordingly for that, 1 or 2 clubs less. And green a little narrow when you get towards the back. So this shot really has to be respected. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. He misses the green right here at the 9th. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. Safely aboard. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss and a drop shot here at the 9th. He needs this for bogey. He got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Now McIlroy is the chaser, looking up at Martin Kaymer, and that is no easy task, playing a U.S. Open and chasing the likes of a Martin Kaymer. Plus, pretty difficult shot coming up here at the 15th.
It's going to require a great flop shot to get the ball up so quickly and get it to stop in such a short space is going to take every bit of skill. Rich, you get that feeling. If there's going to be a moment, I think that moment is now.
Trying to clean this up, make his par. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. Well, too bad. He gives one back.
Final few holes to play, especially of a major championship like the US Open. You know, it's what you've worked so hard for. It's what, you know, you've put all those hours of practice in for, and you know, this is your moment. This is your moment to see what you've got against the best players in the world and test yourself at the ultimate level. There's obviously a lot of pressure. You know, you don't want to let an opportunity like this pass you by. You don't want to let it slip. So to stay really focused, really concentrated, try to take one shot at a time, try and put the result out of your mind, control what you can control. But saying that, it is difficult with so many things going on around you, whether it be the crowd or it could be the person that you're going up against. You know, there's so many things that you can't control, but you know, the things that you can control, that's what you have to concentrate on, and that's what you have to try and, you know, do to the best of your ability. And if you can do that, that's what gives you the best chance to try and win a huge tournament like the US Open.
You couldn't ask for much more than what we have right here. Two former US Open champions, 17th hole, tied for the lead, Martin Kaymer and Rory McIlroy.
And Rich, it's easy to remember these types of situations, and it's as much about mental toughness as anything right now. The 17th hole is named Derailed, and I'm sure it's a great test for both men's mental toughness.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that. What a blow by McIlroy on 17.
One hole left to play here at the U.S. Open Championship. And it all comes down to this, Frank. What does Rory need to do off the tee?
Considering it's a par 5 finishing hole, Rich, you would think that one of these two great players is going to make birdie. So for Rory, he's going to have to be the guy to make it first. He has the honour.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
What a great drive on the final hole.
You know, Rich, so often we associate US Opens with just a straight slog, par after par, but this is a real treat. Kaymer at his best, McIlroy at their best, playing anything other than US Open style. This is a totally different generation.
Brilliant golf by the two Europeans. Frank, I think this one's going to miss the fairway.
He's going to need a little bit of luck here.
Yeah, it's in the bunker. It's 37 yards to the hole.
Can still birdie the closing hole.
Rory for birdie to put some pressure on Martin Kaymer. Frank, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
Well, this is it. This is for the U.S. Open Championship. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
So they'll tap in. The door was open, but Martin Kaymer slammed it shut. Kaymer, the U.S. Open champion yet again. It came down to the final hole. Kaymer really put on a show. This will forever be remembered as one of the best finishes in major championship history.
Lose a lead or you lose a major, or it doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped. At that moment in time, there's obviously a lot of disappointment, but I think that passes and you use that as motivation for the next one. And that's the only way you can view it. You can't feel sorry for yourself, or you can't get down about it, because what's happened's happened. The past is the past, and you move on. But you use it as motivation not to let it happen again. My toughest loss was the 2011 Masters, when I had a 4-shot lead going into the final round, and you completely blew up on the back nine. It was a very tough moment for me. It was very disappointing, but I used that as motivation to say to myself, that's not going to happen again. That's not the player I am. That's not the player I want to be. And I used it in a way that 70 days later I won my first US Open and my first major. So sometimes disappointments can be catalysts for good things to happen in the future, and it's just how you react to it. And I feel like if you react to your disappointments in the right way, they can be very beneficial.
Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. Frank, we've arrived at one of the more unusual golf courses in the United States. We're in the state of Washington, Chambers Bay. What's it all about?
Well, apart from the scenery, Rich, which is magnificent, this is a walking golf course, so it's a chance to get out there, strut your stuff, and see if you got a game to match.
It's a links golf course. We think of links golf, we think of the home of golf in Scotland. Here we're in the northwest part of the United States, though.
Yeah, but Scotland's, well, it's transferred a little piece of land all the way across the Atlantic.
Down to the first tee now to get the round going, and a stout par 4, Frank.
Yeah, straight out of the gates. The wind obviously very important here. If you were to play it into a head breeze, this would be just a mammoth hole, just under 500 yards. Fortunately, with a little prevailing breeze, though, it'll shorten up considerably, but will bring that bunker on the right in play.
Frank, the beauty of golf, we're not playing inside a dome with no wind. You have to be able to handle the elements.
You do, and that's really where the better player comes through. On a day like today, anything around par is going to be a good score, so just adjust your own mental par. What a great shot.
Excellent opening tee shot. That ball right in the fairway. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. On the green. And a chance for birdie here on the first hole.
Really? This is an awkward length. Oh, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now par.
Settles in over the putt. And Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
Just a little tap in here to 1 over par early on in this round. Ready to tee off here at the second. Frank, what's it all about?
Well, you hit your tee shot here through the dunes, Rich, not overly long, just under 400 yards. The bunker on the left really shouldn't be a problem. Just avoid the dunes on the right and left.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, what do you think about this approach shot here at the second at Chambers Bay?
If you've driven it down the right side, you have a much better view of this green, better access to the flag when it's on the back left. You really want to just avoid that little bunker that cuts in on the right side, and there's a little sort of gut on that left side of the green, where that sort of collects the ball.
Superb shot.
It's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
He can really get red hot with a putter. Let's see what McIlroy does. Well, you can see he's just disgusted with that effort. 1 over for the day. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Not what he had in mind when he stepped to the tee, but it would be just one drop shot. This for bogey. Slipping just a bit, another bogey, and now 2 over par. Frank, here on the 4th tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult here. Long birdie try. Pretty long putt right here. You'd be happy to get it to within 2-3 feet. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Oh, painful lip out. This is a good putt.
Absolutely can't believe it. I thought that thing was stone dead in the center. So, with that, 3 over par now for the round. Well, Frank here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right. And those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at the 5th?
Just got to be cognizant of that bunker. That's you can see it there. That's just central front of this green. You've either got to go around it, or if you're good enough, then you go straight over it. But you've got to have a ton of spin on the second shot. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Well, he's on the green, but still plenty of work left. About a 25-footer coming up. Fairly long 25-foot putt here.
That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Hasn't been easy, but he'll take it. That's a par. 3 over for the day. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you don't try and fight Mother Nature because she'll always win. So just anything down the left, let that ball sort of kick its way back towards the middle of the fairway. A lengthy par 4 at 495.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
On the green, short, but plenty of real estate between the ball and the hole. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Always 2 components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This to surrender, only 1 shot. So a drop shot. Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
A huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hammocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then, a little bit like the golf course, there's only one greenside bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that.
Interesting, with the almost space-age advancements in golf equipment, what with new, lighter materials, and with the increased focus on fitness and strength, players are hitting the ball longer than ever. That has forced architects to lengthen the golf courses without sacrificing the integrity or the shot value of the original design.
Safely on deck.
And it generates some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. And that's a bogey. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realise that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. One of the things I think that's captivated the audience now with Rory McIlroy is he's doing things that we thought only one other player could do, and that's Tiger Woods. When you can street fields in a major championship by, nearly double figures, that's when you're in a class in your own. And I know that's stating the obvious.
He has a gear, Frank, that I don't think other players have. You might be rolling along at 95 miles per hour and you think you're moving, and you look to your right and you blink and go, who was that? Somebody just went by me, and he's doing 125 and make it look easy. This kid is really special. But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
See if our featured player can do something right today.
Yeah, when you're swinging well, obviously target looks as big as a barn, but on days like today, everything looks difficult.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
He has this for a birdie. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Finishing up our front side here at the 9th, it's a par 3. And Frank, how would you describe this hole?
Well, it's an absolute stunner, really, because of the views. And this is where you realize that links golf, minus trees and minus some of the things we see on other golf courses, can still look absolutely beautiful. But don't look at the scenery too much, because you've got, well over 200 yards here. Even though it's elevated, it still requires a good tee shot. But a little 2 here, and you might just have yourself a good outward 9. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
I'm thinking about 90 yards from here. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side.
This one just inside 30 feet. Certainly you wouldn't call that close.
On the computer, it registers at 29 feet. Settles in over the putt. You can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss, and a drop shot here at the 9th. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Oh my goodness, how did he miss that? Just a couple of feet. It has been frustrating. 6 over par already. Frank, the nice thing about golf is that if you struggle on that front side, you can take a breath and you can regroup and you can get something going on the back 9.
During a round of golf, there's so many little things you can do, especially when you're a little awry. Check the ball position. Maybe you're starting to focus too much on swing rather than actually the shots in hand.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you...
That is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a full melody now.
All right, going in the right direction at 5 over. Stepping up to the tee here at the 11th, Frank.
Yeah, it looks straightforward. You'll see a big dune in the middle of the fairway. You can really take that out of play. Get it down there as far as you can. You're going to need to. And then from there on in, it's really just trying to find out exactly where you want to land that second shot so that you can get it on the right level. Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Frank, that's as good as I have seen all day long.
I think we're going to blame that on the weather. That weather, the wind had to help that ball give it another 20, 30 yards.
And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Pretty good shot right there. And he's putting for par now. Routine stuff for Rory. That's a par. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th, Frank, seems to offer an opportunity for a player to do something pretty dramatic here.
Yeah, it's called the Narrows. Really, it should be called the Temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up the gauntlet?
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That's costly right there.
Painful. A little bit more hope than determination in that putt.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Well, not what they wanted. 7 over par already on the round. On to the 13th hole here at Chambers Bay. It's a par 4, and they call this one Eagle Eye.
Yeah, dogleg to the right, beefy par 4. You hit it down to one of the widest fairways on the golf course. And then up in front, if you look at the middle of the green, you're going to see one bunker. Needless to say, that's got to be avoided.
Excellent looking shot here. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Chambers Bay, just the 3rd municipal course to have hosted a U.S. Open and the youngest to host a U.S. Open in almost 30 years.
Yeah, hats off to them too. This is they did it for the right reasons. It's going to be interesting to see it on TV with the best in the world playing it, because the golf course will look different. It'll be a shock to some people because we're so used to seeing everything that's green and perfect. This is perfect, but it's not green.
Frank, you play the game at the highest level. You know it doesn't always go your way. So what kind of advice do you give the player who's having a rough go of it?
I used to have a little notepad that I remembered, and on it was stop, take a deep breath, make a decision, and now go with it. Just re-rack.
Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The 2 greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a greenside bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Has his par.
Frank, now to the 14th hole, and this is the 5th consecutive par 4 here at Chambers Bay, and by this point the players will know whether they're on their game or off their game.
At 546 yards, this hole can be shortened considerably if you choose to take a brave line down the left side. You can chew off as much as 70 or 80 yards. But once again here, because the hole bends to the left, you've really got to know which direction that wind is coming from.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. All right, Frank, what's the play into the green here?
Well, the green's got a little bit of a funnel effect. General contours slope right to left, and towards this green there is a little bit of a ridge and some mounding, short right. But just use those in your favour. The ball's going to do what Mother Nature wants it to do. You don't have to fight it. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Shouldn't be a problem here.
And at last, he has made a birdie.
And what can he do from here, though? Is that the start of something? It looks like it is.
At last, Frank, a break from those long par fours. We just played 5 par fours in a row. Now the par 3 15th.
And also, as you can see in the distance, you can actually see a tree, one of the few that are on the golf course. Hence the name of 15, it's called Lone Fir. Not overly long, just a little short hole. But in a US Open, obviously they can play it at around 250 yards. It's just a fun par 3. But check where that flag is, because sometimes 3 is a good score here. But an easy flag position, then go straight at it.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. So, Frank, after a difficult day, he's starting to move in the right direction.
There's been like 2 different players, Rich. The one we saw early on in the round, I did not recognize. But all of a sudden, it's starting to look like the player we know. Chance for back-to-back birdies.
Now to the par 4, 423 yards, 16th hole. What's the right play, Frank?
Fairway first. Once again, you'll see the slope of the fairway from the left to the right side. It means move your aim down that left side. It'll make this fairway appear that much bigger. And, of course, then when you hit into this green, you're really going to have to flight that second shot properly. This is like a tabletop green. There's something about a well-hit shot.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Now his third, staring right at the green. Now on the green, has about 10 feet left there to save par.